Hey everyone,
Surprise.
and welcome. We're here at Epic HQ for our semi-regular weekly holiday stream, whatever. Stacy is out on a well-deserved vacation, although I think she's actually hanging out in the chat room.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
Be sure and say hi and make fun of her for being lazy enough not to come into work, but energetic enough to play online, because that's typically how she spends her breaks.
Yes.
We have a show for you today, though, because the show must go on even without Stacy.
Well, except for next week.
We'll get to that. We tried to open with the top 5 plays of the year. That worked out well for us. But you can still catch it online. It's in the Frog Center. It's in YouTube. So you can still see all the top plays of the year that you voted for. Zack, you put together a really cool video for us. Clint is looking at me like I said something I shouldn't have.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Those plays, most of them are like just amazing.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool to go back. We were looking at the footage while it was playing, when it was working, and we were saying how things look different. It's even just in the past year, it's kind of cool to see how far we've come and how much better things look and how much better the game plays. So anyway, it's a cool retrospective, top 5 plays and whatnot. As Joe mentioned, we will not be here next week.
We won't be.
Yes.
I think most people are off here at Epic. I think there's some people are going to be here, but we will definitely be taking next week off. So no stream next week. Sorry, guys.
Happy holidays, happy New Year.
Happy holidays. We'll be reveling in the getting ready for the new year and the push through there.
And I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure most of us will be online playing sometime during the week.
Yes.
So we will still see you. You will still hear from us.
Yes, definitely come play with us on Dallas and all the different servers. I know I try and play a couple hours every day during the holidays. It's tough. I mean, I know we're busy with families. You guys are busy with families. So it's tough to find time.
I was going to mention is that we're apparently having terrible audio issues at the moment, so sorry about that for anybody who's running into it. They're reporting really bad audio clipping or the mic levels are also really high. So sorry if we've made your ears bleed. That's a free present from us.
Although we could be speaking in robo voice, which could be cool too.
Yeah, who knows what's going on.
Okay, we will go to
No.
I thought you wanted to speak in robot voice.
So
that's a taste of the new Zan. That's the surprise.
Or could you have video queued up that we could roll in?
Yeah, I can play video. I can play
Okay,
both
cool.
videos too.
So Joe has a surprise for you.
Yep, I did a little mod called, to take a step back, a long time ago I did Capture the Tree for UT, I think it was UT 99, then I did a version for 2K4, and this year I'm rolling out my version for UT Alpha, and it's available in the forums right now, and you can come play with us. It's up on Dallas, and we're going to put it up on a couple of other hubs.
Yeah, I can't throw it to every one of them immediately. I had some problems working with some of the other teams to get it out and done for everybody, but I will put it on a few more of my servers, and then you've got it ready for everybody else to distribute.
Yeah, anybody who wants to put it up on their hub, it's up on the forums. It's free. Go play with it. I put the source up there. You can have with that. You know, my hope is eventually it'll become kind of organic, and people in the community will step up. And look, it's really quick. I did it in a couple hours in Blueprints.
That means it doesn't quite work right.
No, it works. It works just fine. There's just some idiosyncrasies, we'll call it, where I ran into walls of Blueprint. And
Capture the Tree is also pre-alpha.
Yes, it's pre-alpha Capture the Tree. So I'm asking for the community to jump up and help. So next year we will have a perfectly incredible tight Capture the Tree.
What is Capture the Tree, Joe?
Well, why don't we roll the video and we'll see how it plays.
Maybe. There we go. Oh, 411. We love you so.
We'll do that for next time. And That's Capture the Tree. I will point out that that was actually me making that hammer jump. So all you haters out there, I've proven that I can
Fail
do
of
it.
the week. Joe misses his own hammer jump on his own recording.
I will point out that in recording from the demo, I did miss a hammer jump in the demo, but that one I made.
Like
so.
the 8 attempts you didn't see.
Just in case it's not clear, the flag has been replaced by a tree, which is cool.
Yes.
There's cool sound effects and whatnot, and the power-ups are replaced with presents.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's going to be in a present. It could be anything,
Yep.
which is kind of cool. It
Yeah,
adds a new dimension to maps when you get jump boots where there previously were none.
yeah.
Actually, there was a lot of fun in that map with jump boots where I got in there. I had some video where I'm like jump booting up and nailing people underneath me. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely not something that we want going for a long period of time. Random power-ups is
It
fun in
breaks
small
maps
doses.
in a competitive sense, but heck, it's fun.
Yeah, it's just meant to be fun. And then health vials get replaced with candy canes. You know,
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's hard to see in the video. Again, I'm not an artist, so you know, Warren Marshall, who's I used to share an office with, did all the art, and we didn't have enough time to go back and make the candy canes a little more vibrant. The problem is they're white and red for the most part, so they kind of blend into the scenery.
Yeah.
In retrospect, maybe we should have put a rim shader on it or something to make them a little more visible. But hey, you know, quick little toy to play around with, and it's a lot of fun.
Stewman in the chat was curious. Have you ever captured the wrong tree?
I'm never gonna live that down.
No comment. So the Comic Sans is also fantastic.
Yeah, see, he's hooked on the Comic Sans.
It's a great font.
I did Comic Sans there on purpose because you know you're not supposed to, and I love Comic Sans.
Yep.
It's a fun mod. It's a fun font.
If Joe was a font,
No, well,
he would be Wingdings.
Wingdings. Yeah, Chiller. Yeah, Chiller would be a better one for me.
Yeah, actually, probably. Something zombie related. All right, so the only other thing we had today was just to kind of go over what we've been working on, since we know 411 is still a ways out. It probably won't be till next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully early next year, first week or two of January, we'll see, depending on how the build comes together. We have actually been working on a ton of stuff, some of which is likely to be a little bit controversial. The one thing that I wanted to mention is that we got this crazy bug in our bonnet and started talking about player visibility. I think it came with the team shaders thing that was going on in the forums. And we kind of started down this path where we made a new rim shader. Donaldson came in and helped us out and kind of improved what we had going. And I think everybody seems to think it looks a lot better than it used to.
Yeah,
even though the differences are subtle, it still looks better than it used to.
Yeah.
And then I went through and redid all of the team shaders so that characters have more team color and brighter team colors, so they should be easier to see even without the rim shader. And then we started looking at player scale and just overall in the maps and how players look tiny and how they look far away. And then one of the artists said, hey, what would happen if we made characters twice the size that they were? And that was crazy. So we started with 1.25.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been working back from there. But it's had some really interesting effects on gameplay. I don't know. I loved it instantly. I thought it was super cool. It slowed down the game. Your collision cylinder was bigger.
Well, it totally changes everything, right? As soon
Yeah,
as
it
you
changes
increase the
everything.
scale up, the immediate visible effects is that the game seems to play a lot slower.
Yeah.
Right, and people are easier to hit because obviously they have bigger collisions. And
We didn't change the radius on weapons or stuff.
yeah,
only
we
characters.
haven't tweaked any of that to fit the new scale because we have no idea where we're actually going to go with this yet. If we're even going to keep it, it's part of the development process is playing around with things like this. And I mean, when we talk about that we're in pre-alpha, we really are in pre-alpha. We are still very much in the stage where, yes, we don't necessarily want to go change our scale at the moment, but we will if we think it makes the game better.
Yeah.
And now is the time to play around with things like that.
Well,
I
it's
have
funny
for a long
because
time.
the first test that we did, Steve was out. He was on taking vacation day. And
we picked a good day to do it.
And so we decided, let's do something crazy while he's gone. And then he came back and he was like, what did you guys do? No, that's a crazy idea.
And a
And
Nerf
I was like,
war
no, you have to
ensued,
play it, you have to play it, you have to play it. And so he played it. And he's like, huh. And so then we started actually like iterating on it and tweaking the numbers, and I think we're at 115 right now.
Yeah, right now we're at 115. So
1.15.
Yeah, we're down
scale.
from 1.25. We tried 1.125 out for a bit. We're doing a lot of back-to-back comparisons with meshed out maps, BSP shells, just trying to see how it holds up. The key thing is, like, when these guys are saying slower, it's a perceivable difference in gameplay, but it's not one of those things that's just like, oh, terrific, everyone's in molasses, or you know, it's not one of those things. It's definitely a
someone who's never played before would never know that had only played once or twice, would probably never.
We've actually had quite a few people who are hardcore players who played quite a bit who are barely noticing any difference too. So it's not something that's wildly destroying everything. So.
But Steve did have a good point, and I'm actually kind of curious to see what people in the forums think. We should start a thread about this at some point.
Yeah.
Like if you look at a UT99 map, you run down a hallway, the ceiling is here and the walls are here. Yeah. And there's still open spaces where you can dodge and jump around, but all of our current maps in the current game are built so that you can do things like wall run and then jump over someone's head, and double or wall dodge through a doorway, so the doors have to be extra wide and extra tall and all this stuff.
I don't want to put words in the mouths of the LDs or anything, but it definitely seems like they were built with the full range of mobility, always intended to always do all the things. So like even a door frame would be very large and even high, because that LD is expecting at some point some player somewhere for some reason is going to hit that door frame and bounce off, and he's not want to clip his head, he's not want to bounce his head off the ceiling or anything like that, and so that's why a lot of that.
But what Steve brought up, and which I had totally forgotten, was that when we very, very first started this project and we were looking at scale, we all agreed, all 6 of us at the time, that if you were going to jump and hit your head on a door once in a while, that was your fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't that the game was broken, it was that was your fault for trying to do something that you shouldn't have done in that hallway, and that not every hallway needed to support every single type of move. As development has gone on, we've actually done the opposite of that, where we've made big doorways and wide hallways and stuff. And
also
so I'm kind of curious to see, like, if we went back and messed with ASDF or one of them and changed it around.
Well, we have looked at some of the. Remember, the original maps that we started doing, especially some of the shells, are a lot tighter, right? As Stu and Sid came on board, our map size grew a little bit. Not a whole lot. I mean, we're not talking like giant jumps, but they did grow and expand out a little bit. Yeah. And so if you go back and look at Deck with like the new scales that we're playing around with, Deck is really tight, because when we did the original
Deck is a 1-to-1.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, right? Is we
scale.
planned that to exactly where we wanted to be. Same thing with ASDF. They're tighter and they feel tighter, and that's because they were designed a little bit smaller. Yeah. And then we expanded out a little bit, but we never really adjusted the scale to match the fact that we've expanded out a little bit. And whether it's good or bad, now I'm very much in the camp that if it's a tight hallway, it's a tight hallway. It just means you can't dodge there, and that's okay. It's okay to have areas that you can't have all the movement. Yeah. I mean, overall, I'm a big fan of. Yeah, I'm a big fan of rounding us as much as we possibly can. Yeah. So when I play the new scale, I actually really like the fact that it perceivably slows you down a little bit and makes the game a little more grounded and a little more ground friendly.
And again, we didn't slow it down. Just when you got bigger, we moved eye height up slightly, so your eyes are farther from the ground.
It's
so
a perception thing. Yeah, it's entirely.
And I guess, like mathematically, technically, proportionally, you are actually moving slower if you think about it that way. But we did not change speed.
And moreover, I mean, other than the fact that they hit you a little sooner, the projectiles are all still going the same speed. Instant hit, of course, is still instant hit. So, but it
curse you, sniper rifle.
Yeah. It's definitely something fun to try and to see where it ends up with. Yeah.
One of the other things we did get a chance to experiment in this break as well is we tried out Stalin's UT99 movement.
That was so good.
That was a really cool thing to try out as well. Yeah. And we've reached out to him, and I've got all of his values, so we were looking at that as well. I know I sent that stuff over to Steve, so we're just curious about what you guys are experimenting with. We're trying some stuff out internally as well. Yeah. I don't want to ruin his surprise too, but even Sid's been working on, hey, what happens if we go to Crazy Town and take the bio rifle and just gut it and rework it and make it a more awesome Unreal type weapon. So there's a lot of experimenting and testing and stuff going on internally while we're also trying to stabilize
while the programming team is working on stabilizing. Yep. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that's given artists and designers a little bit of time to kind of catch up and catch our breath there. So.
And it's also important to point out, I mean, this is what pre-alpha is for. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion, well, they're not touching movement, they're not touching weapon balance. Well, yeah, we're not, for the most part, until we do. and then we'll go away from it for a little while. And seriously, I mean, we'll make a sweeping change or even a not a sweeping change, and then we want to sit on it for weeks on time, because you can't make a change. For example, if we end up going with the scale changes that we're playing with right now. Let's say in a perfect world we went with them. That's something we have to iterate on and mull over for weeks before we can really see the impact down the line of what it does.
And even when we're comfortable with it, then we start making changes to existing content, and then we learn from that before we make new content, and on and on. So.
Right. So I mean, let's say, again, going back, let's say we kept the scale. If we did, automatically this is going to make a lot of weapons a little more powerful because everything is easier to hit, your collision's bigger. And
for the record, I am fine.
So am I, but we won't pull any of that back right away, right? We'll start playing, okay, let's see how we move through the world with it, let's see how it affects scale into the perception of the world, and then we'll start, okay, yep, we like this scale, let's stick with it now let's think about pulling weapons and moving weapons around it. And it is a really slow process, and that's what we keep trying to impart with the community. This isn't changes overnight. I know that some people want changes overnight, but it's not going to happen that way.
So, I don't know, maybe I'll start a thread in the forums, but I'd like to hear people's thoughts.
Well,
I'd like to see some screenshots of new team shaders, new room shaders, new scale, like all of that together.
Well, they have to wait until they get it first.
And no, so I mean, like we could post it just so people can
I see what you're saying,
or post some videos.
Yeah, right now the only people who have some insight into it, there's some GitHub guys. Who
Anybody with GitHub.
You can download the game, for sure. It's not like we're hiding anything. Everything that we're working on is checked in all the time in GitHub. It may not be the most stable build, but you can absolutely download for free and play, just like anything else.
Yeah, and you can certainly go and tweak it, and you can give us your feedback on it. I mean, if you like the bigger scale, if you don't, who knows where it's going to end up being at this point.
Yeah. We're also working on some new characters. We've been thinking about new game types. We've just been all over the board. We've got a new person joining the team soon, so that'll be kind of cool. And hey, Paragon is happening, so there's a little bit of stuff going on at Epic right now.
Yeah. But life is pretty busy.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
So, I don't know, anything else?
I don't know, are there any good questions in the forum over here?
I don't know, if you guys have any questions, it'll take probably about 15, 20 seconds for them to show up, but if you do have any questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. There was
somebody asked one about Trello.
One about... Go ahead.
The reason why we haven't updated Trello is because we haven't filled out what's on Trello yet. I mean, it's...
We really should.
We should, but it's really not high priority for us.
Funny story, Pern and I were supposed to handle the art and design side of that, and I don't think either one of us has done that.
Yeah.
Especially Pern, since he's not on the project.
Yeah, no, one of the biggest problems that we have realistically is that a lot of the team's actual planning, development, and tasks, bugs, all that stuff is now really being done through Jira. Most of the actual planning is done on a project that's not visually exposed to everyone because there are some sensitive things in there, unfortunately. But yeah, Trello is the main player-facing thing, so we definitely should get back in there and at least update that some way. Sorry about that not being updated.
Well, Trello also has really been we've used that as just this concept of a big picture of where we want to go eventually and what features that we eventually want to go in the game. And I don't think we can really mark anything on Trello right now as finished, right? Because a lot of those features are very much in development. There are features on Trello that we really haven't started even yet. And I'll give one for example. There's the server admin features on Trello that we haven't even really touched yet. I wrote a really quick admin panel, but nobody's really looked at that and focused on it. So obviously, when we built that originally, we estimated timeframes for everything, but they're not even remotely accurate.
Priorities have shifted so vastly since then. It's hard to know if any of it's really valid anymore. So,
any other good questions?
Brutality asks, is there any updates for netcode in the next release? So basically, what I can tell you about that kind of stuff is there's normally always some sort of improvement, whether it's very subtle or Steve is making large improvements across one particular weapon. Or
Steve has probably been tweaking. Sadly, I have to admit that I haven't been following where the netcode is at the moment. I've been off in other lands. So I don't know exactly what Steve has done to the netcode, if anything. I know there have been changes in 4.11. Keep in mind that the next build will be our integration build into 4.11. And when we went to 4.11, I mean, we skipped 4.9, 4.10, went straight to 4.11.
Which,
and
by the
that
way,
is a
just
huge,
went preview to the actual Unreal Engine community.
right. So I mean,
the other
that
day.
is a huge amount of churn in underlying systems. If anybody wonders why we did not release a build for Christmas, it is because there is just so much churn and so many things, and I don't even want to really say
Not to
fix
mention,
up because
not
it's
even at the engine
necessarily
level,
fixed.
but like Matt is switching over to an inventory system. You're doing pretty in-depth stuff to UI and hub.
That's the other big
everything
thing.
is just
Once the profile thing comes online too. Just to mention that briefly, we had a database outage over the weekend, and there have been some people that ran into some fallout from that.
Yeah.
Once we have the real profile system online, we'll finally be able to go into the back. We'll be able to re-provision actual
what you had,
items.
restore your
Exactly,
stuff,
exactly. So we're sorry you guys are running into some of those problems, but yeah, and that's again another thing that we've been working on. So there's just so much stuff that's been kind of in flux.
And in that vein, let me reiterate, do not clear your profile unless somebody from Epic tells you to clear your profile.
In which case, you probably should question why they are even asking you to do that, because you're going to
That
lose your
means
challenge
something has
stars.
gone horribly
you're going
wrong.
to lose
Yes,
progression.
that button is there because early on in development there were potentially bugs in there that were horribly bad that we had to fix. And so we have a button for clearing your profile. It is not meant for people to just go and willy-nilly clear their profile. We are as often happens in early development, we are storing stuff in the profile we probably shouldn't store in the profile.
Well, we didn't actually have a profile. We just kind of
we didn't have a back-end system for storing those stats.
It'll be out soon.
Right, and as those things come online, we move stuff into it and we move it around. But so don't clear your profile unless we tell you to. Oh, Succubus, he's funny.
Any questions? Anything we should hit up?
I don't think there's really anything else, but
All right.
happy holidays.
Yeah,
and,
definitely happy holidays. Remember, there's no stream next week.
Yep.
We'll be back fresh in the new year. Hopefully, talking about.
You'll be fresh. I'll be tired. I got plans.
I'm going to be working through all of it, so I have some really fun stuff that I have planned for well, everybody else is off. So I'm not going to talk about it yet.
Interesting.
So I'll be working on that, and then New Year we'll all get back together, talk about this, the new build and everything. Hopefully it'll finally be ready. And please come. I'll be on probably Dallas later today, at least a bit. So come play Capture the Tree with us, and let's have a good time. What's that one? Guarding ranks.
Yeah, there's a quick question from Matt Zrar. Hold on one second. It says, regarding ranks, can you show a specific rank for that game type when in-game instead of your overall rank, which isn't very useful. For example, if your DM rank is Gold 1, show you Gold 1 when playing DM instead of Silver 9.
Yes, we're eventually, we're eventually going to get there. Keep in mind, all that stuff is all temporary right now. The ranks are going to change how we calculate them, how we display them. So right now it's more of a proof of concept of, yes, we can display a rank while you're in the game. It's really easy to go into that and display a rank, but it's a lot harder. It would be very easy for us to display the three. Here's your DM rank, here is your CTF rank, and I think we have a dual rank as well. But then what happens? We have mods that are online right now that need to be able to show stuff. So it's just easier right now in this early in development to just show off your average rank. But yeah, eventually we're going to have that more in detail.
Yeah, Harbinger, I would love to answer your question, but I don't have Matt around, so I can't answer it.
What's the question?
AI-based question.
Yeah, that's really got to go to Matt.
Yeah, and then Anders has a question here. I really want to know about high texture maps. I want to know how many there's going to be that are not community made. We're working on a new one right now. We currently have Outpost 23 that's complete, Titan Pass that's complete, Chills coming online early next year. So you'll have the textures from all those to be making new community maps, but we're going to be working on one basically all the time or several at one time. So we've got some cool stuff for you guys.
I'm hoping we can get to the point where we can develop a full set of assets, release maps, characters, like the full theme as not like a season or like that's a thing, right? So like, hey, for these next 3-6 months, whatever the time length is, boom, here's content to play with. And then while people are playing with that stuff, we can be developing the next set in the background. And
so
eventually that's how we'll get all the teams out and all the different content packs out. And you guys can fill in the blanks in between with all kinds of cool custom content.
Yeah, somebody asked if Comic Sans is going to be our new font.
It is. We're using it
I
every
would
It is.
task
It's
in.
totally. I love Comic Sans.
Task in for that right
the
now.
the truth of the matter is, we are
It makes
undergoing
Monster
a
Kills
font.
that much sillier.
I know. We are going to have a font change. We're going to have a big UI change coming up, where we're changing the way some things look and refresh. That's all going back and forth on the design board right now. But none of that's been set in stone yet. So.
Lynx is asking about any updates on Mac stuff. A lot of people ask about that on the forums. We're taking 4.11 right
Stacy
now.
says no, Comic Sans.
Yeah. We have some Mac stuff planned, but we don't know how it's going to impact the community overall. But hopefully, all the stuff we're aiming for is improvements, and we're trying to get those crashes taken care of.
Yeah. Pete is our main Mac guy, and he's also our build guy. So all of these stuff that's happening going up to 4.11 is taking all of his time. So he has not as much for Mac.
Mac and Linux are kind of like a sideline for right now, just while we are trying to stabilize. So, but
Although
hopefully
you can get the Mac and Win32, you can't get.
you can get
Linux
Mac,
yet.
Win32, Win64 all through the launcher now.
but not Linux yet.
Yeah, just Linux.
Main Mac crash is fixed.
So okay.
I'm heard the main Mac crash is fixed, says a tester. So I'm assuming that the next build will really help you out in that case then.
Cool. All right.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. I want to wish everybody happy holidays.
And Happy New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year.
And we'll see you next
We'll
year.
see you fragging.
See you guys.